I'm back with another video. Do y'all like my pants? I don't know how I feel about them. I'm gonna have to stand up and show y'all. They have like seashells and stuff on them. I'm ready to tell my birth story. I have come to terms with it. I'm good with it now. I'm ready to tell my birth story. Before I get into my birth story, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me some comments, ask me some questions. You know how it goes on this side. My birth story, my birth, getting pregnant, my birth, my second pregnancy was nothing like I imagined. And it's okay. It happened. I have no control over what happened. It is what it is. And I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. So stay tuned, because at the end of this, I'm going to introduce my sweet baby. Because my baby is sweet. So when I first found out I was pregnant, a lot of stuff went through my mind. My daughter was 12, or she was 11 going on 12. Matter of fact, she just turned 12. I found out I was pregnant on my daughter's 12th birthday. I was going up to Jersey to go be with my family. My daughter normally stays up there from Christmas to January because she's out of school she has a whole month break. So I was going back up to pick her up because she was already up there. And I'm like, I'm going to do her birthday party there. Since, our family's there, she wants to be around her cousins. So I'm like, I'm going to do a birthday party there. As soon as I touch down, I get to my mom's house. She just looks at me and she was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, "What? Why would you even say it?" I'm like, "No, pregnant. Like, I'm at the prime of my life right now. Like, my daughter 12, I'm scot-free. Pregnancy coming over here." So when she says that, though, in the back of my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. A lot of things have been happening differently. I know myself when I'm pregnant. One thing I cannot do, walking up a flight of stairs, I get winded, out of breath, and hungry. So I'm just like, I have been hungrier than normal. Like, it's that hunger that you can't satisfy. Like, your stomach is just like, it's empty, and you can't, nothing you eat satisfies it. And I'm like, that has been happening. And my daughter had got her hotel room. Like, when I went upstairs, it was like an outside upstairs kind of thing. When I went up the steps, I was winded. And I already knew. And one thing that, I already don't like orange juice, but when I had some orange juice, I was taking them, I had took her to like the Nickelodeon studio thing in Jersey. So that morning we had got up and had some, some breakfast, and I had orange juice, and it was so disgusting. Everything just tasted nasty. And I'm like, first of all, why did it take me getting to my mom's for her to say this, for me to realize and recognize this? And it was happening all along, and why is it hitting me full speed now? So already knew. I knew in my heart. I'm like, damn, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, no, I can't be. It's not happening right now. I'm not pregnant. Can't be happening. I'm not pregnant. So I take her to the, to the Nickelodeon thing. They're asking me to get on the roller coasters and stuff. And in my head, I'm like, I'm pregnant. There might be a baby in here. I got to protect my baby. Like, I might got a baby. So I get on one roller coaster and it's all good. But I'm hungry again. I just already knew I was pregnant. And prior to this, like, when I always wanted a son. Like, I wanted a son so bad. Every year on Facebook, I would write, I want a son. That would be my status update, like, all the time. I want a son. And then, but I'm just like, I told myself, the next time I have a baby, I'm going to be in a relationship or married. I'm going to, be in a solid thing. I'm not just having anybody's baby. That's just not how it's going to go. So that happens. We leave from there, and then my sister, she comes over, for the party, and she's like, I tell her what's going on. And mind you, she had just told me she was pregnant. So she was about 9 weeks pregnant at that time. And I was laughing at her. I'm like, it's January. I'm like, dang, there go your summer. The pandemic was just getting down. And I'm like, there go your summer. I'm like, that sucks for you. Like, I'm about to be outside. And so she like, take a test. I'm like, I'm not taking no test because I'm not pregnant. So my cousin ends up buying a test. She already had the test. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, I'm not taking no test. Like, this is my daughter's birthday party. We're about to, have fun. I take a test because I'm just like, my mom's just took a test. Let me see what's going on. Take the test. And my sister just starts screaming. And I'm just sitting on the toilet looking at her like, why are you screaming? I'm like, it must be negative because I ain't having no baby. And she's like, you having a baby, I'm just like, no. No. I was in shock. Like, what? A part of me was like, yes, this might be my son. And then a part of me is like, no, not right now. Like, I'm at the height of everything right now. Like, my career is going good. No, not right now. Like, what? Not right now. So, and like prior to that, I would see people, you know, status on Facebook, they're pregnant, and I would, you know, feel a little twinge of jealousy because I'm like, dang, I want my son, but I'm like, now's not the right time. And it's crazy because I had birth control. I had the 5-year birth control. I took it out. I got it re-put back in. I'm going on my 7th year, had my birth control in, and then when the pandemic started, I started having like little anxiety issues from not seeing people. Like, I'm a social being. I need to see people. And I'm a Libra. If you know, Libras, we got to be around people. So I got my birth control removed because I'm thinking maybe it's the birth control. My birth control got something to do with this. So I got it removed, and then I didn't think about it because I was so used to having it in that I never thought about it again. The next thing you know, here we go. And I'm just like, what, a baby? What am I gonna do? A baby? So I'm just like, okay. Like, I was happy, but then you just go through a whole field of emotions. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, how is this happening right now? But then it's like, I don't want no baby. Then it's like, okay, I guess. And then my sister's like, you better not get rid of it. You said if you get pregnant again, you better keep it. Your might as well have that baby. Like, why would you? And I'm just like, I need to know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for myself. I'm like, because a baby is like, you know, it's a big responsibility. But then it's like, at the same time, I did tell myself, next time if I get pregnant, I'm going to just have a baby. And I did tell myself that if I don't have a baby by the time I'm 32, I won't have no baby. So here I am, 31. Was I 31? I was 31. Here I am, 31 and pregnant. And I'm like, well, by the time I have the baby, it will be before my 32nd birthday. Like, this baby came right on time. Like, hold up. So that happened. So I'm just like, all right. So then that whole weekend, I thought about it. So I text him, the guy, and I'm like, you know, I call him, like, we gotta talk, you know, I'm pregnant. And then the first thing he says is, it's not his. And I'm just like, it's yours. It's yours. So, I mean, maybe that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I mean, we're not on that topic. We're talking about the birth. So, fast forward, my mom was right. And it's crazy because when I was pregnant with my daughter, my grandma looked at me and told me I was pregnant. She was right. Now my mom's telling me I'm pregnant. She was right. So, now I decide, like, okay, I'm going to keep my baby. Like, I'm going to have my baby. This happened for a reason. Let me have my baby. This might be my son. So, going through the motions, month 1, month 2, month 3, everything's good, you know, stuff is going, get my ultrasound, see my baby for the first time, it's moving around in there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's a baby in there. Like, of course I cried, I shed some tears. I'm just like, it's really a baby in me. Like, I'm growing a life inside of my body. Like, that is just so magical. Like, when you think about it, you're growing a whole human in your body. Like, a whole human. Their bones, their skull, their brain, their heart, their lungs. Like, you're growing this. Like, it's so amazing to me. So, I see the baby, and I'm just like, that gotta be my son. That gotta be my son. 20 weeks, we go to the next ultrasound. He's in there doing this. I'm like, he's throwing free throws. That's my son. Like, it's my son. It gotta be my son. Fast forward to there. So when I found out I was pregnant, I already knew the person I am now. I'm like, I'm going to have a natural birth. I want a natural birth. I want to do a home birth. I want, you know, I don't want any type of, I don't want no epidural. I don't want no medication. I don't want nothing. I just want it to be natural as possible. Then I find out about the birthing center here in North Carolina. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a birthing center. They're natural. They just have everything set up there. Like, they have the tub, the bed. It's just like a bedroom. And they release you after 6 hours. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I can do that because in that way I won't have the whole cleanup and the whole thing at my house. I can just go to the birthing center. Cool. So I ended up deciding to go with the birthing center because they were 5 minutes from the hospital in case a transport was needed. But my house where I live it was like 45 minutes or so from the hospital. So I'm like, I guess I'll go with the birthing center. So they did all my appointments. They checked his, like, they didn't do no ultrasounds. You only got one ultrasound with them, which was at 20 weeks, just to, do the anatomy scan. They always checked the heart rate every time I went in. They always checked his heart rate, and what else did they check? They didn't do no cervical checks, none of that kind of stuff. So I'm like, it's really natural. I always spoke to my belly. I knew it was my son. I just called it a him all the time. I always said he. I never said she. Like, I just knew, it's my son. It gotta be my son. No. Sorry, that's Siri. So I'm going with the birthing center. Then everybody like around me, like, everybody's so used to birth being a medical thing. They're like, you need to have your baby in the hospital. Why would you do that? Why would you do a home birth? They send you home after 6 hours. That's way too fast. You need to be checked. But in reality, it's like, birth is natural. It's a natural process. You really don't need to be in the hospital. All they want to do in the hospital is, they want to make money. So they're going to, of course, try to give you an epidural. They're going to try to give you all this extra stuff that you don't need. I wanted my stuff to be as free birth as possible. I wanted to be home. What are you doing? I wanted to be home. And I wanted to be home. So I was really excited about feeling this pain. Like, I wanted to feel the pain of bringing my baby into the world. Like, I wanted to feel everything. So, going through the motions. I was supposed to be due September. So first they said I was due September 22nd. Then when I did, because I paid for an extra ultrasound, because I was like, I can't wait. Like, I want the first ultrasound. I just went and got it independently. When I went and got that one, then they said I was due September 16th. But then when I went for my 20-week one, they were like, wow, this baby is big, it's really long and all this. So you're due September 13th. So now I'm just like, okay, when is my due date? So now I'm banking on September 13th. In my head, I'm due September 13th. This baby is coming September 13th. And by that time you start getting, your belly is big, you can't barely move, it's heavy, like you carrying a whole baby inside of you. So I'm still working out. I wasn't working out as heavy as I did in the beginning, but I was just going for walks, doing cardio when I can, the elliptical, stuff like that. But it just was really getting hard. Like, it was heavy, it was draining, and I'm just like, I'm tired of being pregnant. I want this baby out of me. So the birthing center, they let you go up to 42 weeks. Like, if you're not showing no signs of the baby coming, they let you go up to 42 weeks. So I'm just like, oh. Then they're like, well, you had your daughter at 39 weeks. You had her so fast. Like, my daughter, she came out 3 hours. Like, she came out so quick. So they're like, she came out so fast, so this baby's gonna come out quick. It's gonna be fast. So they're like, when you start feeling contractions, you get here right away. Don't even wait until you dilated, just come. And I'm just like, well, it was like, don't wait till you're 5 minutes apart, the rules and all that. And they're like, just come. So I'm just like, wow, this baby's just gonna fall up out of me. So shout out to my doula, Triangles doulas of color. Shout out to my doula. She was there for me. Like, I talked to her all through my pregnancy. She called, talked to me, checked on me, so she's telling me, just wait. Don't try to rush anything, go through the motions. And when your baby is ready, it will come when it's ready. Me, I'm just like, no, I'm going into 40 weeks now. I want the baby out now. Like, this is getting hard. It's getting to be too much for me. So I'm just like, I go and I get a membrane sweep. I get a membrane sweep because now I'm 41 weeks and I'm just like, and the baby is like sitting down here, like head is here. I'm waddling, walking, like I can't walk. And the baby is just sitting there. I'm like, come on, just slide down some more and come on out. So when she does the membrane sweep, she's like, yeah, I don't feel anything. I feel the head here, but they're not, not quite ready. And I'm just like, what are you going to go to 42? Like, what? Come on, let's go. What are you doing? So I go get another membrane sweep. I called him again, like, I think 2 days later. I'm like, we need to get this moving. Like, come on, get this baby out of here. So that happens. Go get another membrane sweep. My doula, she's like, just be patient. Baby will come when it's ready. And, just be ready when, when the contractions come, just call me. We ready. So the next morning, well, that night, y'all know I'm heavy on the full moon. That night, it was a full moon. And I'm just like, it's time. My baby about to come. Like, my baby coming. My baby coming. So September 19th, the night before, and I'm like, my baby coming. I know it's time. This is it. So the next day, like maybe 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, I felt like I peed myself. And I never experienced that before because with my daughter, my water didn't break. Like, when I say she came quick, she just came. She broke the water as she came out. So I'm like, did my water break or did I pee myself? Am I loose? Like, what's going on? So I called a birthing center and they're like, okay, just come in. And because I had an appointment to come in anyway, they was like, just come in, we'll check and see what's going on. So I get there, and as I'm driving, I swear I'm feeling contractions. So me being extra, I'm like, I'm doing my breathing, I'm driving, I'm like, contraction. Like, I was just so ready to feel this pain. I'm like, I'm feeling the contractions, my baby coming. Like, I was happy, I was smiling through them. I'm like, I'm gonna smile through my contractions. I'm feeling this pain. Get to the birthing center, and mind you, I have no support people. I just have my daughter with me. This is it. I'm in North Carolina, I'm in a new state. My parents, my family, everybody is in Jersey. I have nobody here. I have one friend that I knew at the time, and then I had another friend I had just met. So I'm texting her, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is time. Like, my one friend, she told me she was gonna meet me at the birthing center and, be there with me and help me or whatever. So I'm just like, oh my God. So they like lay down, relax. So I laid on the bed and I'm just relaxing. I'm feeling contractions. I'm breathing through them, but they're like 10 minutes apart at this point. They're like far apart. I'm laying down. And then I want to say like 2 hours went by and they was coming and doing a check. So they, at the birthing center, of course, they didn't have no machines or no big machines. They just have the handheld thing that check the heart rate. So they're coming in checking the heart rate. Third time they come in to check the heart rate, and they're like, get up. And I'm like, huh? Get up, because I was laying down. She's like, get up, get on your knees, get up. And I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? So she's like, turn over. And then she's like, hey, come here. Can you come listen to this? And I'm like, what, is something wrong? When I heard the heartbeat, normally it's that rapid sound. When I heard the heartbeat that time, I was like, is the machine broken? The heartbeat sounded so slow, like you would have thought the machine was broke. Like, it sounded so slow that you would have thought the machine was broke. So she's ignoring me, asking if the machine's broke. She's like, come here real quick, come here. Other lady comes in, she's listening. She's like, yeah. Then she pointing at another lady. The other lady, she's on the phone calling 911. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, somebody tell me what is happening. Somebody tell me what's happening. Mind you, I had already told my doula, like, I'm having, contractions. I'm at the birthing center. She's like, okay, call me as they get, a little closer and I'll be there. She's like, because, it can go from 10 to 5 in, a long time or whatever. She's like, call me when, you get a little closer. So I'm just like, what is going on? No. I'm like, what is going on? I said, no. Go over there or you going in. I'm like, what is going on? So she's like, man, as soon as they called 911, all these people just walked in, like, from the hospital, ambulance staff. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, slow down for a second. Tell me what's happening. They was like, yeah, his heart rate is going down. They was like, we have to get you to the hospital fast because they need to monitor there. They was like, we do not have this stuff to monitor you here. And they was like, it needs to be continuously monitored. And I'm just like, what? Hospital? I don't want to go to the hospital. Hospital's not in my birth plan. I'm not going to no hospital. That's out of the question. I don't want to go to the hospital. Like, I don't want to. I'm having my baby naturally here. Like, I don't even want to have to explain to these people that I don't want nothing from them. So they're like, I'm sorry, you have to go to the hospital. Like, it's no exception. You have to go to the hospital. So they rush me to the hospital. They get me to the hospital 5 minutes tops. And the whole time, I'm just so worried. I'm steady checking my heart rate on the monitor. I'm just like, is everything okay? They're steady checking the baby's heart rate, and they're like, it's just going down. It's going to a 20. It's going, mind you, a baby's heart rate is normally like a 150, 160, 140, and it was going down to a 20. So they're like, yeah, we may have to get this baby out as soon as you get to the hospital. And I'm like, what do you mean get this baby out as soon as we get to the hospital? She's like, your contractions are coming 2 minutes apart. And she was like, so you must have dilated really quick. We'll check when we get there. Get to the hospital. They check me. I was not dilated at all. I was dilated 1 centimeter, which I was still since last night. Like, you know, that whole week I had been dilated 1 centimeter. So that means I didn't open up at all. And my contractions was coming 2 minutes apart, 1 to 2 minutes apart. And they said the baby was not handling the contractions. They was like, we don't get this baby out now, the baby's not going to make it. So I'm just like, what are you saying? I got to get a C-section? Y'all got to cut the baby out of me? They're like, yes. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. Then, so while this is happening, all these people are rushing in the room. There's COVID swabbing me. Another person is hooking me up to an IV. Another person is telling me to sign paperwork. And I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all need to slow down. They was like, there is no slowing down. So the one lady, she's talking to me and she's like, listen, she held my hand. She's like, I understand you're a black woman in a hospital and we know what that means. And she was like, we do what we got to do for our kids. And she was like, if this was not the best option for you, we wouldn't be doing this. So I'm just looking. She had on scrubs. I didn't know who she was. At first, I thought she worked with the hospital. Come to find out, she was from the birthing center. I'm thinking the birthing center dropped me off and left me, but she was from the birthing center. I just didn't know because she had on the hospital stuff. So I'm just like, we do what we got to do for our kids. So at the same time, they're like, your daughter, she cannot be here. No minors in the hospital. So now I'm like, well, where's my daughter going to go? Like, she doesn't have anywhere to go. Text my friend. She was on her way anyway. She's like, I'll come get her. She can stay with me. She comes to get my daughter, and I'm like, I don't want to make no moves till my doula gets here. They're like, you don't have time to wait on a doula. We have to get this baby out. So they're like, if push comes to shove, they was like, just sign the paperwork for the epidural now so we can start hooking you up to that. So that way, if you do need the C-section, we don't have to hook. That's one less thing we got to do. You could just get that done now. But they're like, you might can, you know, we'll monitor the heart rate a couple more times and we'll see. You might can still push. But then as they're monitoring, it went down to a 20 again. 20. Then one time it was 150. Every time I had a contraction, then it was 20 again. 30. I'm like, well, it was just up. They was like, no, it was up once. They was like, majority of the time, it was down. So, no. It has to be up all the time. The baby's not handling it. We got to get the baby out. As you see, my baby's a fighter. We got to get the baby out. So I'm just like, sign the paperwork for the epidural. And I'm like, I didn't want no epidural. Like, there's everything that I did not want is happening right now. Everything. Like, I'm crying. I'm sad. I'm stressed. I'm scared. Like, I'm just like, anything can happen during a C-section. I'm so scared. Then I'm worried about my daughter. She had to get sent off. I have nobody with me. I'm just in this hospital in a new state by myself. I don't know what to think right now. So I'm just like, please just save me from my daughter. Just save me. Please please just get my baby out. Just do what y'all got to do. So as they start wheeling me down, because they was like, we can't. The lady's like, the one that held my hand, she was like, I don't know why y'all keep monitoring. She was like, there's no need to keep monitoring. This baby needs to get out now. So I'm like, wow, she really, like, she's speaking for me. And that's when, again, come to find out she was with the birthing center. So they start wheeling me down. I'm like, my doula's not here. Like, I done paid my doula and I don't even get to get none of this stuff. Like, man, when I tell you my doula come walking around that corner as me, they wheeling me down, I start crying even more. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm about to cry now because I just can't believe, like, I had to go through that. Like, it was just so surreal and just like, I still can't believe, like, I wanted to be as natural as possible and I had to get wheeled down. And I'm just so scared as they're, they're numbing me down doing the epidural part. And then he's like, I'm like, what's all this beeping? Is my heart okay? What's going on? He was like, stop worrying about that. Relax. He was like, that's my job. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to watch this monitor. And I'm like, okay. They're like, you're in good hands. You're in good hands. So they like, can you feel anything? Do you feel this? And I don't feel nothing. So they're like, okay, you're numb. I think I was numb from here down. And they're like, okay. Soon as they like, are you okay? As they're saying, are you okay? I hear crying. Like, they got the baby out that fast. And I'm just like, it's done. They're like, you're done. We're sewing you back up now. And I'm just like, I just had to get a C-section. Like, I just had to get a C-section. Like, what the fuck? What? So my doula, she's sitting there with me the whole time. She's talking to me. She's like, reassuring me. She's holding my hand. And yo, shout out to her. Like, when I say shout out to her, like, she came to my house afterwards. Like, okay, we'll get to that. But the baby comes out, and oh my God, this is just like, it's a lot. When the baby came out, they're like, are you ready to see? Are you ready to see what you had? Because they knew that I didn't know. So I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. When they held this baby up in front of me and his legs was open and it was my son, like, when I seen that it was my son, I lost it. Like, I'm about to lose it now. I could have lost him. Like, I was so close to having him, like, so close, and his heart rate was like, that could. I try not to think about that, because it's like, he could have been a stillborn. He could have, like, if they moved any slower than they moved, if anything went wrong, like, they got my son out just in time, like, and it was him, like, the whole time, it was him. Oh my God, it still makes me emotional. Like, I don't even know why I'm crying. Oh. Like, y'all don't understand. I waited so long for my son. And I feel like things happen for a reason. I feel like every step I took, from packing my stuff randomly, coming to North Carolina, being here, meeting who I met, falling into something, getting pregnant after 6 months of knowing this person, I really just feel like that person was just sent to me just to bring my son forward. I really feel like that. And I waited so long for my son. Like, I waited so long, and then now he's finally here. Like, it was him all that time. Like, I still can't, and he's just so precious, and he's just so sweet. And I really, 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 like, I think the birthing center, because, like, after he came out, the same lady, she came and talked to me, and she's just like, after you're discharged here, you get discharged back to us, so you don't have to go through here anymore. You go, you get all your aftercare with us. And I'm like, with us? I'm like, I'm confused. I'm confused. I thought you guys, I thought you were the hospital. She's like, no, I work with the birthing center. I'm like, all this time, like, I thought they dropped me and left me. She was like, no, I was here with you all the time. Like, I'm gonna make sure mine is good. Shout out to the birthing center. They was there a call away every time I needed them. And, from breastfeeding support to any kind of support I needed, I could call them. They was there for me. My doula. Again, triangle doulas of color. If you are in North Carolina, you're looking for a doula, highly recommend. My friend, she was there with me in the hospital. She came over, she cooked for me. She, I just had a C-section, so it was hard to get around. She, she was coming over every day, making sure I was good. She had her own daughter to take care of. She, kept my daughter for the whole weekend while I was in the hospital. She came and picked me up from the hospital, took me home. Like, shout out to her. Like, I'm still stuck on the fact that I had a whole baby in a whole new state by myself. Women are resilient. Like, we are strong. We are strong. We are courageous. We are, what is the word I'm looking for? So many emotions just go through me. It's like, if you think you're alone, you're not really alone. Like, you always got somebody. And everything, I'm a firm believer when everything happens for a reason. Like, I have no hard feelings to no one or anything about anything. Like, everything happens for a reason, and I'm elate. Like, I am happy. Words cannot describe how happy I am that I got my son. I got my daughter. I got my son. I got my dog. We are a happy family. We are happy, and I'm happy. I think I covered everything, like, about my birth story. But I'm just super, super grateful that my son got out in time. He was healthy. He was kicking. His heart, as soon as he got out, his heart was pumping. His lungs was good. He was crying. His, the score that they do was good. Like, he was fine. I'm like, he's okay. Like, everything's fine with him. They're like, yes, everything's fine. He's 100%. He failed his hearing test, but my daughter failed her hearing test too. And I'm like, both my kids want to fail their hearing test, and then they of course they passed it the next time. Well, my daughter, no, I had to actually take her back up to the hospital. She fell 2 times. But when he came out and all I heard was all that hair, oh my God. And I'm just like, it's a girl. It's a girl. Then when they held him up, I'm like, my son. Like, I asked for a son that looked like me. I wanted a son that looked just like me, looked like my dad. I wanted him to be like my dad is what I wanted. And that boy, that's what I got. That's what I got. He's itching to get out. Are y'all ready to meet him? Are y'all ready to meet him? Say hi. Say hi. We're just gonna go down the street to the park. It's so nice out. It's Arrow's birthday today, so we're going to go out. Yes. So you guys are going to be seeing more of Adonis. This is Adonis, the big Don Don. The big Don Don Don. That my big Don Don. But just know that this is my little baby that don't do no wrong. He don't do no wrong. Yes, you don't do no wrong. You don't do no wrong. Stay tuned for what we got coming, because we cooking up something, right, Papa? We cooking up something? We always cooking up something. Yes, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Yes, tell them we out.